You know, during my anxiety recovery, I remember this very moment where I made tremendous leaps over my anxiety, this one moment. And today I want to share this moment with you, my friend, so that it can supercharge your anxiety healing as well. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please go ahead and do that. And let's get into this important video. You know, when we have anxiety, we tend to believe that we are anxiety. Anxiety is a part of us. Now, what fuels anxiety? Worry. Worry fuels anxiety. And often, when we decide that we no longer want to live in a place of anxiety, it's very difficult to leave the worry aside because, at an unconscious level, we believe that worry has provided us with tremendous rewards, right? Worry was the thing that made me the mother that I am today, the father. Worry was the thing that brought me towards financial freedom. Worry was the thing that allows me to grow in my relationship with my spouse. Worry is like this secondary gain, and it's very difficult for many anxiety sufferers to leave worry, leave a world of worry, and begin embracing the world of truly letting go and no longer being so fixated in a mental level. And the moment that my anxiety healing was supercharged was the moment that I forgave myself for experiencing anxiety. You are so hard on yourself, you know that? I bet nobody's ever told you that. You really are a doer. And when I mean doer, you really feel like the only way you can receive a reward is if you go through this systematic, painful process that you believe is the only way to meet with a certain reward. And many anxiety sufferers feel like they really haven't suffered enough yet to get the reward of inner peace and leave a world of anxiety. This is at an unconscious level because so many of us are doers, right? But I want you today to forgive yourself for experiencing anxiety. Not for being anxiety, because that's not who you are, nor are you the characteristics that come with an anxiety disorder. You are experiencing the chapter that is known as anxiety. And during this very valuable chapter that you're going through right now, there are certain lessons that you haven't really applied into your life yet that is the only way to move towards the next chapter in your life. And many people come to me and say, I've suffered from anxiety for 20 years. And my response to them is, well, have you really changed who you are as a person throughout that 20 years? Or have you stayed as the same person within those 20 years, therefore experiencing anxiety constantly? And they go, yeah, nothing really has changed on the inside. For a long time, I focused on, I hope anxiety goes away. I hope anxiety goes away. And with all that hoping comes a lot of trying. Yeah, I'll try a bit of this and I'll try a bit of that. And in truth, we're just so familiar with anxiety, so familiar with worry that it's very difficult to leave that inner space, right? But back to forgiveness. I want you to forgive yourself for experiencing anxiety because when you're so hard on yourself, there comes a lot of tension, physical tension with that hardship. And with that physical tension comes a lot of inflexibility. And when you're inflexible in mind, you are also inflexible in body. I don't care how much yoga you do. If you're not a flexible thinker, you won't have a flexible body, right? So it's up to us to go, I forgive myself for having the experience of anxiety. I forgive myself for having the experience of anxiety. And then anxiety becomes a fleeting experience, not so much something that will stick around for the rest of your life as the lower self or irrational mind would like us to think, right? But anxiety then becomes this chapter that you're experiencing. I want you to see anxiety as this place of suppressed excitement. Because what is anxiety? Anxiety is a bunch of these stress hormones, adrenaline, that make you feel like what isn't a threat in an objective sense really is a threat. And so if anxiety is suppressed excitement, I ask you this question as well. What could you be excited about in your future? And a lot of people may say, well, nothing because I'm experiencing anxiety. Now, put that aside for a second. If you had to be excited about something in the future, what would that be? And all of a sudden, the anxiety turns to excitement, right? And what tends to happen is we begin to look forward to the future rather than dread the future, because so many anxiety sufferers live each and every day of their lives trying to protect from a threatening future. Oh my God, my physical health could go wrong in the future, therefore I have to make sure that I take 70 supplements and go to many doctors and yada yada yada, and share this anxiety struggle with as many people as I can online in the hopes of others understanding where I am. That was me for a long time, right? I don't want this to be you. So what could you be excited about in your future? In the comment section, I want you to share with me what you could be excited about in your future, because as much suppressed fear and anger there is within an anxiety sufferer, there's also a lot of suppressed fun and suppressed excitement that is also lying stagnant, ready to come out into your inner and outer world. So I ask you again, what could you be excited about in the future? So I know we touched on a couple things on this video. Number one is forgiveness. You must forgive yourself for the experience of anxiety. Number two, you must realize that anxiety is a chapter in your life where you need to grow out of, right? There's a lesson here or multiple lessons that you haven't really tapped into or have applied into your life to get to the next chapter in your life. And number three, what could you be excited about in the future? Therefore, you no longer see the sensations in your body as being a bad thing. Now they're just sensations connected to excitement because it's the same thing. We get to decide what the sensations mean. We get to respond to the intrusive ideas that show up. We get to decide which ideas we want to build one brick on top of another and which ones we want to begin letting go of. My friend, you have so much more power within you that you realize, that you can realize right now, because you're in a state of constant tension and worry. And it's up to you today to take this video and the contents within this video and go, you know what? I've been living a lie for a very long time. I've been lying to myself over and over and over again and believing those lies, because around those lies come stories that are so far-fetched that once you recover from anxiety, you look back and go, man, I was a really bad storyteller back then, right? I was a really bad storyteller. I used to tell myself the worst stories. And as I look back, I realized that 99%, if not 100% of those stories never came true. So what was the real point of those fear-centered stories? It was to keep me in a state of anxiety, keep me in a state of fear, because that's what the inner child, that's what the ego, that's what the lower self wants. The lower self doesn't like change. It likes familiarity. The lower self loves certainty, knowing what's going to happen in the future, knowing how the next step is going to go. But the truth is, when you were a child, before you were corrupted with all these fear-centered beliefs, you didn't care about what you knew in the future. You went up on that fire truck, right? I had a fire truck back in Stanley Park in Vancouver. Comment below if you still walk past that stationary fire truck, and you go off the fire truck and yes, get on the wheel and here you go, and you're stepping on the pedal. You're not going anywhere, but you're imagining that you are, right? And you're speaking to people around you even though you don't know them. There's so much uncertainty that was in those very moments that you embraced. And the truth is that we now have children, we have kids, because now we can learn the truth behind who we really are, our divine true selves. They are shining through those children, and we must do a very good job of not over teaching them, but learning from them as much as we can to come back to a place where we no longer experience anxiety, to come back to a place where we are not only peaceful, but we are living our lives adventurously, spontaneously, and not looking to see what's going to happen in the next step. My friends, all you have to understand today is that you are more than anxiety. You are more than anxiety. Anxiety is a chapter. Take the contents within this video and walk hand in hand with me towards anxiety recovery. Comment below on your biggest epiphany from this video, and I'll see you in the next video, my friends. Have a wonderful day, and I love you. Bye-bye.